What's up, everybody? Hey, it's Thursday. No, wait, what's today? Wednesday? It's Thursday. Golly, sorry. It's Thursday, March something. Welcome to Friske Business. Hey, it's cloudy, it's cold, it's nasty, but we're inside and we're safe and sound.
It's my personality.
It is cloudy and cold. Is that Michelle?
It's perfect.
Can y'all hear okay? I can barely hear Michelle.
It's probably for the best.
Okay, so we got two female guests in here. It's our first time for two females.
It's National Lady Day.
Yeah.
International.
Oh, it is, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that
All
weird?
of the internations.
That wasn't even planned.
I know.
Well, we got Michelle Benson, Chelsea Hood, both comedians, local, Dallas things, right?
No,
She's not that local.
Not super local. I'm
Well,
4 years local.
She's a bragger. She's like the Southwest region
I'm
now.
really proud of where my mother's water broke. That's exactly right.
Was that Chicago?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, there's nothing wrong with Chicago.
Absolutely not. I
Yeah.
can name 5 things wrong with Dallas if you'd like. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, let's do two. Let's hear two.
How about the summer? How about
Okay.
the 6 months of sweating your ass off?
All right.
And how about the Cowboys?
All right.
How about Scotty?
Is that how you want me to start? Is to just ostracize?
Just
like
shit on the city. Hey,
Chelsea Hood, go see her, people.
it's fucking cold, wet.
You're a trained
Dallas
plan.
sucks.
We can talk about the things we don't like.
But what about the snow in Chicago, though? Was it like 4 months worth?
What
Yeah,
about
it's-
those
it's the
accents?
winters. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's set a boot.
Oh, that's
Not so bad?
Canadian. now?
Canadian.
God, I didn't know that was gonna happen. I didn't know I was gonna sit in this chair and turn Canadian. This is a problem.
That C stands for Canada.
You guys must not have gotten my rider.
No, we didn't. Whenever we do, we just throw them away. It's,
This is very free form.
Yeah, there's no plan. We just see what happens. If we can make an hour, awesome. If we can't, we'll
Oh,
just
right on.
like
Let's
just stare
see.
straight ahead.
Yeah, let's see if we can.
You think it's
make
harder
an hour.
being a girl?
That's my
Like,
question.
in general?
That's my
And
question.
I knew it was coming.
I knew that was
Ah,
going to be the
damn it.
question you'd ask.
Yeah.
A girl
no.
comic. A girl comic.
Oh.
I think it's great. Because you know what? You get noticed easier.
All right.
And you stand out, for sure. There's
Right.
not that many of us. I don't think it's a problem. What
Yeah.
about you?
No, I agree. I think I think it's just like anything. I think being funny is hard.
All right. No matter
know
who
what I
you
mean?
are.
Yeah, exactly. Every one of us that goes up there has to prove themselves.
Right.
From the second you walk on stage to the second you get off. And if you do a good job, people appreciate it. And if you don't, people notice that probably faster.
All right.
But I mean, there's a lot of girls that have kind of paved the way and set a bad name for it. But there's way more terrible guy comics than there are female comics,
All right.
just based on ratio.
All right. Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
That's true.
I agree.
What about like do you care about like what you wear on stage? Do you think about it? Do you plan ahead?
I do.
I don't.
Yeah.
I try not to be dressed up. I try to keep it
Yeah.
cash.
Yeah.
I try not
Just
to wear a lot of
suit
makeup. Everything
cash.
you wouldn't think you would want to do for a stage. Like,
do
I
the
do the
reverse?
opposite. I'm like, I don't want to brush my hair. Like, I don't want to wear a lot of makeup. I just, because I don't like good-looking comedians, so I don't think people want to see somebody pretty. Like,
Right.
I don't think I don't try to look like shit, but it just happens that way.
That you
Yeah,
don't
that's-
look like shit.
That's the only time I got heckled, and I was dressed like very much the.
You got clothes heckled?
Yeah, no, I got.
Close heckle.
She goes, "You're too pretty to be funny," and I was like, "Well, you are clearly shit faced."
Yes.
Like it was just one of those things, and I was like, "I get it," like because I was dressed up to go out, and so then I was like, "All right, I get it. I can't do the." Like you
Like
can't
jeans and
dress, but then what
t-shirt.
sucks is then after a show, like you're standing around with these
Then
girls that
people are
came
like,
out
"You're-
to go to a show,
All right.
and they're like,
all done
"Oh
up.
my god, I spent 6.5 hours on my hair," and
Right.
you're
And
like,
then their hair's like, I mean,
Completely hammered.
Michelle and
Have-
I are gonna start wearing bumpets.
oh, this is new for me. If I wear a bumpet, like my hair is gonna come up to the middle of my head because I have really short hair.
Yeah.
So,
Can y'all hear me? Is mine on? It's on.
what's
Okay.
up with your hair? Like, how do you try to get ready?
Well, I'll tell you.
Michelle,
Every 3 days.
Bobby.
Every 3 days.
Oh, he's bald.
Yeah. This is video.
Every 3
this-
days you shave it.
Yeah, whether it needs it or not. It's a little. I'm a little hippie-ish right now, actually. A little chia pet-ish. It's
Growing it out?
Yeah. It's
growing out.
I always wanted to freaking have a mohawk when I was younger, and I didn't have the balls. And now I got the balls. Like it would just be like sideways.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
And you'd like dye it green or
Yeah,
something.
like
Like,
some
I'm
crazy-
still punk.
Yeah,
Everyone would just start calling you Saturn.
yeah,
That
You
would
just-
be amazing.
yeah. But I still don't think I'm gonna do it.
I think you should.
You only live
You'd
once.
really
I
make
don't know,
you'd
Michelle.
make quite a statement.
Yeah,
I don't know what it'd be,
I don't know
but
what
it'd
the
be
statement
there.
would be, right? Yeah.
This guy's a dick. I don't
Yeah.
know.
What does he think he is with this green, the fire
The
starter?
sideways mohawk from hell.
Right. Yeah.
You're a lovely host, by the way. I don't mean to shit on you.
Yeah. Thanks, Michelle.
Really
right off the
bringing
bat,
it down.
just like it's shitting everywhere.
Well, have you met us? I mean,
No,
Okay.
please.
We're
come
not
on.
lovely. We're comedians. We're just dicks.
So you start. How long ago did you start?
it would be. It's only been just a little over 2 years, so it'll
Yeah.
be 3 years in December.
Okay.
Damn. Already? I feel like
Yeah.
you just started.
I know.
It just goes by really quickly.
Yeah. How long have you?
God, over 3 years.
Really?
Yeah.
So we're all about the same. I'm almost 3.
Yeah, I mean and that's the thing though. I think there's something to be said for submersing yourself in it
Yeah.
for 3 years, and people are like, "Oh, I've been doing it for 7 years." What, 5 minutes a week?
Right.
Congratulations!
Yeah.
Like, there's something to be said for the amount of effort that you put in those years too, and I think that's why like a lot of people, it's really easy to want what other people have and to see what people are doing, and you kind of want to push yourself to I don't know, to get work faster, and then as soon as you start getting work, you want to feature, and then when you start featuring, you're like, okay, I want to get an off night, and like,
Right.
it's good to want to do those things, but I don't think it so much has to do with how long you've been doing it. I mean, I think that there's no shortcut in it,
Right.
but I do think that the amount of time you put at it for the first, for however long, for the first couple years, I think if you don't throw yourself at it, you
Right.
don't get anywhere. Like Pat Oswalt and Brian Posehn said that in Comedians of Comedy. They were like, you kind of have to give up your life and be obsessed with it for a couple of years
Yeah.
to make it work. And I mean, that's been my focus, is just like, okay, like I'm, at the time I was like, I'm 26. I don't have no idea what I'm doing. I found something that I really like. Why not do this and only this for a couple of years
Right.
and really pour yourself into it? And so that's why, it was like, okay, work at a club during the day. So see how the office side runs, see what it's like waiting tables there, meet every headliner and get to hear their war stories.
Right.
And like, I think you kind of can accelerate yourself in that respect, is if you just live and breathe comedy, which is super pathetic. But
Right.
it's the way that I started for the first 2 years. And so there's a way to kind of not skip ahead of anything, but I think you just notice things,
Right.
especially watching the same guy perform 6-7 times in a weekend,
Right.
and watching a new headliner every week
Yeah.
from the back of the room. It's like you figure out what people laugh at faster. You figure out what not to do
All right.
real quick. And you're also like, oh, I've seen that joke 7 times from 7 different people.
Right.
Mental note, let's never do that. So
Right.
I think there's a way to kind of accelerate it. And people are always like, oh, you're only 3 years in. And you're like, yeah, I'm not trying to, I don't feel like I deserve an award. You know what I
Right.
mean? But I do feel like when you put the effort in, that's when you get funny. Like,
Yeah.
that's something that, like something Jay Moore told me. He's like, yeah, there's no shortcuts. Like you know what the difference is between a beginner and a concert pianist, professional level, is 10,000 hours worth of practice.
All right.
And there's nothing you can do to get to 10,000 hours worth of practice besides practice for 10,000 hours.
All right.
It makes a lot of sense when you think of it that way.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, if I was younger, I would have been working at the Improv too. I mean, it's just like you're at the nucleus of what's going on comedy-wise in Dallas.
God, don't you guys wish you started 10 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, but I
Already.
wish that, there's a lot of things that I wish. I'm probably one of the laziest comedians in Dallas. Like, honestly, I think
don't
that
know.
everyone would agree. I don't know, Frisky. It's just, but it's kind of like, well, what do you want to get out of it? Like, I know that
Absolutely.
you're very talented, but you work very hard at it.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anybody that would disagree with it in the city. Like, you're on every mic, like you're writing all the time, and now and it pays off because you're featuring and you're doing, like, you actually have a job that's like comedy. You're a comedy writer now, which is like a dream for everybody, you
Yeah.
know? But it's also what you want to get out of it, like, I don't know if I want to be a comedian. So I can't believe I'm saying this on a comedy podcast, but I don't know if that's necessarily what I want, for the rest, just that's my profession. But it is something that I enjoy and I get a lot out of it. Like, it's enjoyable for me, but it's not something that I've really thrown myself into. So it's just kind of what you want. There's people that we were talking about earlier today, and it might just be fun for some people.
Hey, we have a caller.
Oh, shit.
My mic is not working.
Hello.
Hello, we have a caller. Holy
Hey,
cow.
I want to talk to Michelle
Okay.
about that stalker guy, the little short, weird guy that was stalkering her.
That
I
was
wanted
Is
to
this
talk
David
about that
Jessup?
because that was funny.
It is.
Is this David Jessup?
Shut up, damn it!
Because
They hang up. What a dude.
That's too good.
What a creep.
Do you want
so
to?
funny.
You don't want to talk about that?
Oh, the stalker?
Yeah.
And maybe this is why I don't devote so much time to comedy, because everybody had a stalker. I think everybody knows about that. But what was that guy's name?
I have one right now.
Do you
I
really?
got a Facebook stalker. He's probably listening. What's up, fool?
Does
The Middle
Does he
Eastern?
know that he's the stalker?
I don't know.
I mean, you're my
I don't know
stalker.
if he, I don't know if I consider, like, it's not like he's, like, crazy, like, comes to my house, or he comes to a lot of shows and
Oh yeah.
likes every status, likes every picture, lots of messages.
Nice.
A little intense. Yeah, it's intense. But it's, I mean,
He's probably watching this. and
Yeah.
he's like,
oh, absolutely, yeah.
dude, she's got to have another guy.
He's jerking off trying to, like, cover up Bobby on one side. That's just me and you.
Was
that appropriate?
Yeah,
I don't
sure.
know.
I don't know, because he's got a stage name, a Facebook stage name. I don't know what the,
Now I kind of want to guess.
Yeah. We could.
Let's pull up your Facebook.
It's
Yeah, we
not
can
black
look
with
it
a
up.
Q, Ron. I'll tell you that right now.
What? Can I say something about
Black Ron?
What a vocabulary! I mean,
He's-
I'm really impressed.
He's an individual.
Here's
in
what
his-
bothers
in
me.
his grammar.
Let's do this. We're gonna get.
Let's
It's
do
not
this.
country grammar.
right.
It is. Was that? It's funny racism.
Here's my problem with this guy. Like,
I think he's cool. I've never met him.
no, he goes in and he blasts everybody, and then he's like, "No, wait, y'all, I'm gonna be a professional."
Idiosyncrasies, yeah. Really?
Here's the thing about being professional. Don't you have to work?
Well, he's working in a lot of urban rooms. I know
So
this
he's-
because I did a show with him.
DeSoto.
Are people-
Oh, I saw that. Oak
Yeah.
Cliff.
Yeah.
My thing is, like, he's like, "Oh, you're afraid of the urban room." No, I'm not. I don't, like, if I was afraid of the urban room, I wouldn't work with black comics.
All right.
So, like, just don't, like, blast me about, like, "Oh, I'm being professional." Well, like, I've never met you, and I've been doing mics 4, 5, 8 times a week for 2 years.
All right.
How are you that professional? Like, it's just one of those things, like, I'm just like, and that's why, like, the group just drives me, I pop in there, like, once a day maybe, and it's like, okay, this is what's going on.
This is
But
the
it's just
drama.
such a shitstorm.
I wonder if people know what we're
especially-
talking about. Like, if there's people listening who are not. Do
Well,
you think there's people who listen to this that aren't?
The hope is that people are listening.
Well, just
If-
in case,
if
maybe
you-
we should explain what this
Yeah, if
group
you don't,
is.
if you
We
don't
digress.
know, our
It's a
little
closed
comedy
private group.
Yeah, we have a group, and
We're
it's
gonna
just
talk
the
about it.
Facebook group that comedians are in,
Yes.
and they can. It's our little bitch room, and it turns into a big. What's the word?
Shit fest?
Shit.
Is that
Shitstorm.
hyphenated?
Shitstorm is good.
Shitstorm.
Shitstorm is a good word for it.
It is, it's the ball bust capital of the internet.
It is.
And,
Of the internet.
Yeah,
that's what my mom calls it, the internet.
it's
The World
99%
Wide Web.
Ooh.
ball bashing and 1%.
Nothing productive comes out of it.
Every once in a while, there's a nugget, but you got to dig.
It's just, it's like, I honestly, and this is my honest thing, like, especially now, like, none of us are really great at just, like, getting down to it and writing all the time.
Right.
There's a handful in the city. I mean, you want to talk about writers, you can talk about Ari and Poor.
Amazing.
Right.
If you're not going to talk about Ari and Poor, then don't talk to me
He's
about
the
writers.
best.
Right. Yeah.
Like, that's it, bottom line. Paul writes all the time.
Right.
Like, those, like, Paul Jason and Ari and Poor, like, and AG and Tone, like there's a reason those guys have gotten the success that they get.
Right.
And it's because they sit down and they write together for 5 hours. I mean, yes, they get shit-faced, but they get something done before they do 9 shots of Makers each. Like,
right.
And not so much Aaron in that regard, but like those guys like have a really good thing is that they write all the time.
Yeah.
They have a good rapport too.
Yeah, they're tight. Like they all came up together basically.
Yeah, and they didn't have a DFW comedians page.
Yeah, that wasted their time.
But it's weird because when you hang out with comics, like we don't all fight when we see each other.
Right.
I mean, most of those guys are way more outgoing online,
right,
than they are in real life. And here's my problem with the whole thing is that I wasn't writing as much as I should have been. Like, I feel like, I mean, you and I would get together and it was always like, we got 1 or 2 new things we want to toss around and throw off the wall. But like, now that I'm writing and getting paid to do it, and I realize and I'm doing topical writing like every day for the news, like you realize how much we're not writing.
Oh yeah.
And like, I'm writing 2 new bits, 3 new bits a week that I don't even get to try out because I'm too busy, which is a good thing. But like, it's starting to be a backup of like, I'm going to have 2-3 open mics where it's going to be 5 minutes of new, 5 minutes of new, 5 minutes of new, where I don't get to
tweak it out.
Yeah. I mean, like I did Cap City on Tuesday. I threw out a bit that I'd never done before on stage.
Right.
At a show. Like, because I was like, I had enough faith and I was like, here we go. Like sink or swim. But if the people in our scene spent as much time writing fucking jokes as they spent tearing people apart for no reason online, it's like, go do something. Like, it's amazing. The graphics that come out of that page are amazing. Like, they're hilarious. It's all like really funny stuff. You really kind of get to see how witty people are. Right. Because when you see them do the same 5 jokes every week, the luster is sort of gone.
All right.
But then you get to see like how funny they are, and you're like, dude, where's that? Why are you doing the same joke? I almost called it out. Why are you doing the same joke every Wednesday? When you're clearly funny enough to write things, you're just too busy writing about how Paco and Cheryl should be love baby. I don't get it. Like
Cheryl.
Dave Cheryl.
Dave Cheryl.
Oh.
He's our our northern rep.
Who's this bitch?
Yeah, he's our Ohio representative.
Right. I mean, I get sucked into it too. Like it's especially when there's drama. I read it, but I agree. Like I've wasted way more time reading that than writing.
I mean, if you thought about the man hours,
there's like the 600 comments that people leave when someone's just like leaving an update, like I want friends, like somebody new.
Can you guys please leave that girl alone? Please,
you know who you are.
I mean, she's asking for it.
She's being swarmed
she didn't
right
know,
now.
but I mean, I think after 300 comments, I would have deleted it.
There's a lot of like cred dropping in that thread. Okay, off Broadway cred dropping.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. Like we all know like, and that's the thing. Like you start it, and then after a while, you're like, God, did I really just spend an hour reading 300? Who gives a shit? What am I doing?
About?
Yeah, like you have to go. Like you have to put it down. Like you just like, I don't know. It's not healthy.
Well, it's like she at Hyenas last night. Everywhere she went, there's this little circle orbiting around her. You know?
I'm glad I missed that.
Yeah,
jeez,
I really am.
There can only be one Michelle in this town.
Yeah, you throw it down, girl. Throw it down. That's funny.
I'll do like the part-time Michelle thing. We can do like a 50-50, 70-30.
All right.
Okay.
Have you thought about like if you don't do comedy, what you want to do?
No.
Do you want to be in the entertainment industry?
I don't know.
No?
I don't know. I really don't know. I'm really lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're young enough though. You can still find
I'm 26.
yourself.
It's kind of old.
This is Michelle's comedy
Please.
intervention, but you guys have all just tuned in.
So
we're bringing in everybody.
Because I thought there'd be shots here. There'd be shots.
I think we're both surprised. Like you looked at me, like when you said you thought there'd be shots, like you thought maybe I would have Jameson
right
in my
at
bag.
you.
Yeah, you like were like maybe she brought it with her.
I don't know. You don't look so disheveled today, so it's kind of like,
I know.
damn it.
Well, it's a hat. I'm wearing a hat.
Oh yeah.
Do you
Because
want
I got a big girl job.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about your job? That's kind of cool.
It is. Yeah, it's cool. It's coming at you live Monday through Friday. It's probably starting next week. They're gonna throw me on
That
live
was so
TV.
newsy. Coming at you
Yeah.
live.
I'm method, dude. What do you want me to say?
Have you been screen testing and
Yeah,
getting
I started out like I just kind of went in and I got the email like they're like, we think you're funny, and I was like, outstanding, we should hang out. And it worked out. I went in for an interview and they took me on, and it's for CW33 Network's Eye Opener, which is broadcast live from 5 to 7 and then has an additional hour from 7 to 8 of updated news and weather, traffic, that stuff, but repeated like material content.
right?
But the 5 to 7 hour is live, and that is live in Dallas, Philly, Houston, Miami, and Portland.
Sweet.
Wow.
So it's pretty sweet. I mean, I've never really watched the news before, so the fact that I'm doing a news show is
Right.
a big old game of catch up.
Right.
Like, I mean, it's literally just, like, oh, right, who's that guy? Okay. I mean, Google and I have been hanging out a lot in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And it's weird going from not really caring, but like, because I was just like, I never want to write topical because it's got a shelf life.
Right,
And
right.
And Dean Lewis plays in the back of my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
And then here I
Okay.
am writing topical every day, all day. And I'm like, this is.
But I mean, like Dean would talk about that, and he used to work for like a radio show
Right.
and stuff like that. So
Don't you think it's going to be helpful in the end? I mean,
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
gonna-
I mean,
if you're having to churn shit out,
you're
Like
just
that?
working that writing muscle like all of
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah, all day, every day.
You just get better at writing
and you're getting
jokes.
paid for it.
Yeah,
It's,
Which
it's like
is-
a dream.
it's a win-win.
put
man.
down the tray.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't wash my server pants this week. I had room in the wash load, and I was like, not doing it. Don't have to. Screw you
My
guys.
server
I don't know why I
I'm
just thought you were
washing
talking about a weed tray or something, and I was like, "What are you?" Uh-oh, applause break.
It's our audience. Well, we got a clip of one of your little shorts you did, right?
Alrighty, sure do.
It's called what's it called? Pageant Moms.
Parenting tips from a pageant mom.
Okay.
None of us can spell pageant.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
We should all have a contest.
How did it go when you were writing that sketch? You're like, I don't know. Parentheses SP question mark.
all right. Okay, here we go. Let's check this out.
Parenting tips from a pageant mom. Energy drinks.
I just don't understand why everybody's up in arms about my baby being a beauty queen. Bless their hearts. Of course I give her energy drinks. They just enhance her natural personality. Besides, I'm preparing her for a professional career modeling. If she can handle this, think of how easy cocaine's gonna be for her. Obesity is a huge problem in this country. Huge. Get it? Anyway, I don't want her to fall victim to that. I think it's just the name of the show that's rubbing people the wrong way. You know, toddlers and tiaras. We should just change the name of it to America. Our kids are prettier than yours. I mean, honestly, have you seen the way those Kenyan kids are getting on TV? Keep it down, baby. Keep it down, please. Mama's talking. And those Kenyan kids are on TV. It's like, geez, try some makeup, put a shirt on. I would love to know their diet secrets, though. At least none of our kids are fatties.
This has been another parenting tip from a pageant mom. Next week, can your baby be too tan? The answer might surprise you.
Lovely.
Whoa.
That's awesome. Echo too.
So-
Echo.
Yeah. Best part was making fun of the Kenyans.
Isn't that
Loved it.
I like the
evil?
cinnamon roll grab. Who,
Yeah.
who was the baby? Whose baby was that?
That's my producer's baby.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Baby.
she's got red
Who
hair.
is that?
No, she didn't get any Red Bull. She went to reach for the bottle and we almost lost a DSLR over it. Like,
Really?
yeah.
Who
That's
shot it?
My producer, Justin Allen.
Oh,
He's-
okay.
Yeah, you know what's cool is a bunch of them just moved down from Chicago.
Oh,
wow.
And so we have
Oh,
Chicago
yeah.
talks
Yeah,
and
hooked up.
we're Cubs fans, Bulls fans, Bears fans. It's good.
Sweet.
Nice.
The Bears.
It's
You got your little
basically
crew.
yeah, it's basically like someone just said to me, "Hey, you know how you've wanted to make YouTube videos and put all that stuff online?" And you're like, "Yeah, I'm kind of lazy."
Yeah.
They're like, "Well, we're gonna pay you to do it and shoot it for you and edit it." And you're like, "What? Are you guys kidding?"
You've
And
got
they're like,
like the golden ticket,
"Yeah,
man.
it's stupid. It's a nationally syndicated show, and so I mean, it's cool. It's a cool experience. The best part is like learning."
Right.
Everything. Like I've never worked in live TV. I've never worked in TV before, especially not live TV. And it's like translating a foreign language when they talk to you. They're like, "Do you have the SOT for the jib at the?" And you're like,
Right.
"What?" And you like literally have to break down acronyms in
Right.
like 5 seconds or less before you figure out what they're talking about. But it's cool.
That's awesome.
It's not like a desk job, but I feel responsible.
Yeah.
Like I have
Yeah.
somewhere to be. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's good.
Is the early morning gonna kill you?
Oh yeah, I've already had to quit drinking during the week, which
Ooh.
you guys know me. It's not a sobriety's not my strong
hard.
point. Yeah,
Right.
sobriety's not my strong point. But yeah, I mean, because you got to get up at 2 a.m., be there at 2.
Early?
The first
like,
week I'd be just like, oh, maybe I can just drink until 1.
Yeah, I
I'll
would
just stay up.
Yeah, totally.
It was tempting, but like the one night that I had cocktails until like 6, I was like, the next day I was like, what was I thinking? This is awful.
Right.
Just exhausted, but.
But also, if you want to call in, 214-741-9111. That's right. Okay. Thank you, Jeddah. You're a good producer, brother.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome. I want anyone else. Hey, where's our intern?
You know what? He actually texted me, and he said he had to study for a test tomorrow. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Barry Whitewater said he was bringing drinks up here. Where are you, Barry?
Oh.
What kind of drinks?
I think soft drinks.
Oh.
You want something special? We can shout it out.
I don't know.
to
You
him.
know when you take a sip out of like a Coke and you're like, ugh, there's no whiskey. That's how I feel sometimes. What is this shit?
That's a Chelsea Hood Michelle Benson writing session in a nutshell.
There's no whiskey.
Why is there no champagne in this juice?
Throw it at him.
Is this just cranberries?
I'm gonna cry.
I don't have a UTI. What are we doing?
I don't have a
A
UTI.
UTI.
Not this week.
Well, like who's some of your influences? Who do you like?
Jeez. Just in life or comedy?
Either.
Scottie Pippen. Really funny. Really funny guy.
I haven't heard his
Play
material.
for the Cubs, Michelle.
He's from Chicago.
He's a linebacker for the Chicago Cubs.
I've been following his career. He's a funny guy. Look how hard we're all laughing. Just the name. Okay.
Funny.
That was him.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sarah Silverman definitely was an influence.
Jew.
Morgan Murphy, yeah, so Jewish. I think it's because when I saw her special, Jesus is Magic, I never really like seen a woman that was younger, that was that funny.
Yeah.
And that like, I don't know, I guess I was kind of shocked by it.
Yeah.
It was a great special.
It was awesome.
Patton Oswalt, definitely. There's a guy, John Mulaney, who's unbelievable. He's so
Chi-town.
young. Unbelievable. Yeah, he's from Chicago.
He knows your peeps.
Did you guys get that exasperated sigh? Could be. Turn it up. Yeah, those are the big ones that I can think of right now. I love Todd Barry. I love that really dry.
Yeah.
Eugene Merman. I mean, I could go on, but it's really interesting. I was always like a fan of stand-up. I'd watch it and I just really liked it. I mean, I guess I'm kind of dark, and I was always kind of fascinated that when comics would talk about like kind of shitty things,
All right.
the reaction. I mean, what they're wanting you to laugh, and I just thought that was such a weird thing, like my life is miserable, but I want hundreds of people to laugh at that. I just always loved that, but there's definitely like a type of comedy that I prefer, but when you start doing it, you start appreciating so many more other comedians. Like even if I don't necessarily think it's that funny, I'll be like, I'm really impressed with how they did that. Like that's a great joke.
Right.
They wrote that really well.
Yeah.
Like that's great structure, I didn't really think Brian Regan was that funny until I started doing it.
Yeah, me too. Same thing.
I would have never been like, oh, I love this clean stuff,
Right.
like, okay, here I go.
Yeah.
I want to make funny sounds,
Yeah.
I would have never been like, okay. But he's really good and he writes really great jokes.
Yeah,
and he works really, you're impressed by things like that once you know how hard it is.
Yeah. I agree. I didn't like Regan at all either until I started
Yeah,
doing
and
comedy.
I didn't want to tell anybody.
I know.
When I was in Dean's class, I was like, I guess I'll study this guy.
Because Dean loves Regan.
No. I just, what I think it is? He doesn't want to change the workbook. No, that's really just kidding, Dean.
That's
He
hilarious.
doesn't want to change that one. I don't want to type somebody else's fucking joke.
yeah. Outline the act outs. Come on.
Yeah.
Go through your book.
We're really inside comedy right now.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's pretty much our core group right now. So I think
Okay.
most people are getting it, and then the people that aren't in comedy, they like hearing it. So I've been told.
I didn't know anything about comedy.
You didn't?
Nope.
I remember talking
When you
to
started?
you. Yeah,
Yeah,
you were
this
just
is
like, I
it's
want to
super
do
embarrassing.
acting and
Well,
costume design.
Well, then why did you say? What made you go? I want to
I
get up on stage.
I I loved Robin Williams, which is heartbreaking now
Right.
to know, of course, that he stole everything.
Right.
But I didn't know. I was super naive. I still am, but about everything. But like the biggest thing for me was I went to see him. My mom got me like the last ticket, obstructed view, right? And I go and see this guy, and I'm in school for acting at this point in time, and I'm not really loving it. But I'm like, I didn't get 2 years in to quit now. Like, we're going to finish this out because I'm not switching to what I'm going to be a teacher. Like, I don't know, which we'll revisit that. But I saw Robin Williams, couldn't believe he could like captivate somebody for 45 minutes by himself.
All right.
And I was like, he gets to say whatever he wants. He's the director. He's the writer. He's the producer. Like, he's everything. And that, to me, was the most exciting thing. And I went back, and I'll never forget, my roommate, Erin Norton, was like, she's like, yeah. She's like, you could do that. She's like, you're funny enough to do that. And I'd never really thought of myself as funny before. Just deflecting emotion for laughter was my childhood. So I never like thought of it as like, oh, I'm being funny. It's more just like, hey, isn't this better than feeling like shit? Yeah, let's laugh it off. And so I went and saw him, and I remember I talked to my ex-boyfriend about it, and I was like, yeah, like I saw Robin Williams, and I really liked it, and I kind of always thought about doing stand-up. And his response was getting me a ticket to go see him again. So I saw him like 3 years ago in January. And it was the first time I'd really seen stand-up. It was only the second time I'd ever seen stand-up was Robin Williams twice.
Oh, wow.
And then 9 months later, Googled stand-up Dallas. And the Improv came up, and I just went and got a job there. And I was like, I want to try it.
Were you here already?
Yeah, I had moved here. I moved here in July of 2008. And...
Because...
For a relationship. Yeah.
Oh.
And then was going to be a teacher. Right. And I was running a kids nonprofit theater company and like teaching kids theater and all this crazy stuff. Yeah. And I hated it. I wanted to love it because I wanted to like be normal. Like I'd just been waiting tables and running around for so long that I was like, well, maybe I should just like get married and have kids and like, grow up. But now I look back and I'm like, wow, what was I thinking? Right. Which it wasn't the person. It was just the situation of like, I wasn't ready to I came from Chicago and moved to Trophy Club. Like I wasn't ready to.
Wow, the Trophy Club.
Oh God.
How did you pick because of the relationship?
Yep. I didn't pick it.
The hell's Trophy Club?
Trophy Club
it's
to be
way the fuck out there.
I thought it was a car dealership.
Wait, no, that's Trophy.
She's living in the back in the service department.
Dude. What are you doing there?
I was gonna be a mom and a wife.
Where's Trophy Club? I can't get over this.
Past Grapevine Mills Mall, like 20 miles.
Past Southlake.
Yeah, it's way the fuck out there.
Ooh,
and I moved
what
from
happened to that guy?
Chicago. He's living in that house. He's doing him.
Trophy Club. I don't even know where you fucking live, guy.
It's not. I mean,
I got a buddy that lives out there. What's
it's
up,
like
Adam?
super like sweet and like quaint, but it's just not like coming from like taking cabs at 4 a.m.
Right,
hammered. Like it just wasn't my lifestyle.
That is white picket fenceville out there.
Yeah, I remember the first set I saw at the Improv was Bruce, and this was my like, I asked for the job. I was like, I want to maybe try comedy. And the then manager, Sean Trainer, I'll bust his balls about this now, was that he goes, oh, that's, most girls aren't that funny. So I was like, wow, okay, chauvinistic of you. That's
Thanks,
perfect.
Sean.
Yeah. He hired me anyway, probably for other feminine reasons. And I remember the first time I saw a set, Bruce did an hour, right? And then like the 10:30 rolls around on Friday, and I was like, he's telling all the same jokes. Like it didn't occur to me that it took 2 years to write an hour. Like it just, and I was like, well, this is interesting. And then you slowly realize that that's how it goes, and you kind of like at first I think you kind of love everybody,
right?
And then after a while you're like, oh, okay.
Everybody comic-wise, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're like, I can't believe they do that. I want to have an hour.
Yeah,
Man, I want a headline. I
just don't want to do the check drop part.
Oh, yeah, I'm not looking forward to check drop.
Just get me out of there.
Oh, right.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I know, I think being a
The
feature
what?
would be
The what?
check
The
drop.
check drop?
What's that?
You drop a Czechoslovakian. No, it's to the ground. No, it's when you're on stage and the waiters go around and drop everybody's checks like during the show. Like what is the last?
Yeah,
15
they all do it at the
minutes?
same time. It's usually about 25 minutes before the end of the
Something
show.
like that.
So the
yeah.
headliner's going, and there's this lull that happens.
And it just
I
gets
gotcha.
kind of quiet because people are like seeing their checks and they've been drinking and having fun the whole time, and then they're like, "Fucking $70,"
Right.
you know? And,
Yeah, and drinks aren't cheap at comedy clubs, and it's all a ripoff. But I mean, it is. I mean, but it's.
But come check them out. Check out all the shows.
No, but it's no more of a ripoff than anything else.
No,
You pay
Yeah, I
$8
mean that's
for
how they make
popcorn.
their money.
Yeah,
is
they have
selling
to make
drinks,
their money.
So
Especially since tickets are usually
yeah,
buy one
usually
get one at
free or
least.
something. You
Yeah.
know,
They're fostering
somebody-
a live art. I mean,
Yeah.
it's it's kind of like when people bitch about ticket prices. I'm like, dude, you're paying to see somebody live, like in
Right.
person,
Perform,
like,
yeah.
and it's a performance. Like I don't know why you don't like when you go to the ballet, you're not like, what is $65? You leotards? Like no, yeah, it's because they've been training for this for a
Right.
year.
That was
Reward
very
that.
Jason James, that thing you just did.
It
Yeah,
was.
wasn't it?
We've spent the last couple days together. Not like that. We were in Austin together.
Oh,
Oh, that's
Yeah,
how
me,
rumors
me,
start.
Paul, and Karen all up in the same car.
wow.
Jason James in the front seat.
Yeah,
eating
is he
carrots.
driving his Prius?
His
No.
Fiesta or whatever that joke
No.
is. It's a
I
good
have
joke,
a
Jason.
Fiesta.
You do?
Oh, does he make fun of a Fiesta? Oh,
Something
fuck
like
it.
that's it's really good.
Oh, he can make fun. He's funny, so he can make fun of it. That's cool.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Definitely.
Well, cool. So you're doing your thing with the
Mm-hmm.
thing. When did you start that?
2 weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah, and
Were you
they're
nervous at all?
Oh God, yeah. They're
Yeah.
very hit the ground running. Like
Yeah.
they throw you to the wolves and they see if you sink or swim, or the sharks or what I don't know whatever. But like
Right.
they're one of those. It's a situation where they know that they don't have time to screw around with somebody, and so it's just very much. But it's just been like stand up. It's like, oh, okay, I got my first week a year in. Did I have 15 minutes? No,
Right.
I probably had 8, and I figured it out. And like you just, it's something that I've learned in this business. Like my biggest regret probably right now is that I could have gone on the road with Greg Warren and didn't take it because I didn't think I was ready.
Oh, really?
And he was like, no, we'll get you when you're ready. And then now that's like, feels like that door is completely shut.
Oh, yeah.
And it may have just lent to this opportunity. I may have not realized there was something else coming, whatever.
Right.
But
Don't you think you made the right decision not jumping out too early?
yes and no. I think I probably could have handled it, number one.
Yeah.
Because I featured, 5 weeks later at Hyenas, and it was fine.
Right.
Had good sets. Which that's something that I love is when you are doing something like that's new or that is kind of a big deal.
Right.
People love to come out and try to watch you screw it up.
Yeah.
You know what I
Really?
mean?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just comics in the back of the room like, let's see her eat it for 25.
All right.
And when you don't, they're like, hey, good set.
Right,
Like,
damn
oh,
it.
is that a question mark?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, but it's true. I mean, like it's a very competitive field, and I think that's a good thing. Is like that's the thing about this job is that I just got thrown into. I know that they can find somebody to take my place at the drop of a hat. So the motivation to really kind of push yourself at it is good. Like they just keep kind of stacking it on. Like, hey, can you handle this? Can you handle this? And I just feel like I'm starting to look behind piles on my desk, but it's good because it makes you kind of want it more. I think
Yeah.
there's nothing about this business that's going to be handed to any of us. So.
Yeah. I think I forgot
It's
who
good to
said
know
it, but
that.
somebody said it's supposed to be hard. Like, why wouldn't it be hard?
If it wasn't hard, everybody would do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, basically, you know.
You think that the bank tellers wouldn't love to go out and tell jokes
Right,
and get their
right.
food and drinks paid for and
Yeah.
have people shake their hands and be like, I like you. I want to be your friend. Like, you heard me talk for 10 minutes, but I would love to be your friend.
Right.
Cool. You know what I mean? Like, anybody would love to be a comic or a musician or a writer or
Right.
an artist. And that's the thing is that we need all of those things to make the world go round. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? You got to have there has to be somebody that works at the bank for us to put our shitty comedy money in.
Right.
Like,
Our small.
yeah, like to
amounts of
deposit our
comedy
change
money.
into
Right.
dollars and roll our quarters for laundry. But like, it's just, I mean, it's one of those things that I think has always been really interesting to me is that like people come out when I'm waiting tables, people come out and they just treat you like shit. And you're like, if I wasn't here, you couldn't
Right.
have this experience. Like, why are you
Right.
treating me like shit? Like, we all make the world go round. We're all in different places. We're all doing different things. And
Right.
I mean, that's what I think bothers me so much about the DFW Comedians page is it is just a ball bust central, and none of us are ever going to be in the same place or have the same things.
Right.
And so like all these like little sub cliques that have formed and like all like it's just it's a very weird thing to me. It's not what it was when I started, and I miss what it was when I started.
Yeah.
But I think there's also people that would begrudge me that like, oh well, yeah, you got to come in and hang out with the top guys in the scene. Right.
I think that, and even Dean says this, is like put blinders on, because if you get jealous of somebody else, it's going to make you crazy.
Yeah.
Because everybody's getting gigs one somewhere or another, and the people that aren't.
And then it feels like sometimes you're just not getting any work, and it's frustrating.
Yeah.
And then you're like, this person's coming up, and then I've definitely thought that. And then I'm like, well, how much effort am I putting into it? And so I can't really complain. And then it's like, for me, I won't have anything for months, it feels like. And then all of a sudden, just like these past couple of months, I've had so much stuff that I couldn't believe it. It was just like busy all the time. And then I still have stuff coming up. And that's been new for me to actually have a lot of work coming up. But I mean, that's just how it is. You won't have anything for a while, and then you'll feel like you have so much stuff.
Yeah.
But
Did anybody ever give you, like, do you have any weird things since you were waiting tables at the Improv and then people would see you? Like, as far as, really?
Because wouldn't you, like, wait tables and then go do a guest spot and then come back and wait tables?
It's just like 2 Saturdays ago, I was, 2 Saturdays ago, I was supposed to be waiting tables, and, it was weird. It was like I was basically one table away from getting sat, and the MC for Sarah Colonna didn't know that there was a 6:30 show on Saturday. So 6:28 they dropped the screen to start running the video and start the show, and I was like, hey, have you guys seen the host? And they were like and I just looked at Earl, and I was like, I can be dressed in 5 minutes if you need me.
All right.
And like I got to go up in front of Sarah Colonna, which it's risky because most girls don't like another girl on their show,
Right.
which I will never understand, but it is kind of one of those things that, like, those opportunities you just get to, like, oh, boom, here you go. Like, I'm hanging out after a show with Ralphie May, and Ebony chimes in, you got to put her on stage. And he put me up for a guest spot. I've gotten,
sweet.
Yeah, it's like some of the people I've gotten a guest spot with, like, they say, like, oh, it's just a guest spot, it doesn't matter. But then, like, I was in LA 3 weeks ago, whatever. And Bobby Lee saw me standing outside the Comedy Store, and he was like, what's up, Dallas Improv? Right. And I was like, what's up, Bobby Lee? And he put me up on a show for 5 minutes. Like,
sweet. At the store?
Yeah. It's like that comes out of a guest spot. Like,
right.
And that comes out of building those relationships with somebody at a comedy club.
Right.
And, like, being one of the first faces they see. And, like, I was vicious. And when I was waiting on that green room, you couldn't get a minute away from me. But it's because I had a system of, like, I'm going to create this kind of FaceTime. I'm going to take really good care of you. You're going to be something that you associate, like, positively with the improv. Like, and if you can kind of build that rapport with people, I mean, it doesn't hurt.
All right.
It's, I mean, there's a fine line, though, between looking like this, like, needy open micer, like, hey, you need some cheese sticks? Like, what's up? Like, can I hang out in here with you? Can I ask you questions?
Yeah.
And seeming genuine, and that's a fine line, because you do want something from them.
All right.
And if you're gonna be like, oh, I just want to be cool with them, like, you're full of shit. Like, of course you want something from them. They have exactly what you want to offer. Like,
well, that even happens locally. Like, you get people come and somebody 2 months in get in your face and, like, we should do a show together. Like, no, we shouldn't really.
And
like,
you shouldn't ask.
Yeah, like but some people don't get that. Some people are in your face from the get-go, and it's kind of weird.
Yeah, there's people in the city that have mad hustle. They really do. And we know who they are, and we don't maybe like them for it.
Right.
But, Asher Allen recently told me, he's like, I'm glad I made friends with you because I really wouldn't want to be your enemy.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not because I'm vindictive, but it's because, one, like, I am working hard to get the connects, but it's two, it's like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Yeah. Like, you don't need to. Like, you shouldn't ask somebody that you don't know for work. Like, people come out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
When it's funny, like, when you write it, it's like, it's Facebook, dude. When you write a really funny status, you get 7 likes.
All right.
You're like, oh, I did a guest spot with Pauly Shore, 97 likes. Like, are you serious? It's Biodome, people. Like, it's not.
But that's our perception. Like, the outside perception is still Like I get people, like I went to the dentist and the assistant was like, so you write everything right before you go up? Like it's that they don't have a true
comedies, yeah, it's
like
foreign.
Pauly Shore, they're like Pauly Shore, you know?
That's
Just
so
yeah, he's
foreign.
known, you know.
Yeah. So I mean it's weird to me. Like I kept my mouth shut almost this whole time. I just recently asked Paul for a spot, you know. Like I was like, I'm not gonna.
Still scared to ask Paul for a spot. I don't know what he thinks about me. I'm just putting that out there. But you know, when you, I was gonna say the first comedy show I saw was at Backdoor. I was living downtown at the time, and it was when Backdoor was downtown still.
Right.
This was like years and years ago, and Paul was like one of the first comedians I ever saw, and I just thought he was amazing. It was like him, Raj, Aaron, Dustin Ybarra, like all of these guys that I never thought I'd ever even like know, you know, then like you're on shows with them or you see them and they know who you are. It was just like bizarre to me. But, you know, Paul was definitely one that stood out because he's just really good.
Yeah.
You know, like
I agree.
He's just a really great comic. And, I don't know, maybe it's just weird, but sometimes I still get like nervous just even like talking to somebody that's like a above the line person. I don't know how else to describe it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you don't know if you're bothering somebody. Like you don't know. You don't really know. Like I don't have that kind of relationship with Paul where I can just like, I'd feel comfortable just being like, hey, do you want to put me up? I just never really, I don't know if I'll ever, you know, maybe eventually. But
Well, it's funny because I think people think that I've never asked Paul for a spot. So, like, if that's any testament, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I never have. I've never asked to go up. I've never asked for this spot or that spot or to feature or to do this or that.
Right.
It's all been given to me. And, like, yes, our relationship, whatever, like, because we became friends very early on and etc. Like, but I think like when I saw him, it was just the same reaction that you had. I was like, that guy's so funny.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know who he was. I didn't know if he was successful in the city. I couldn't have told you. Like when I heard local, I thought, oh, they've been doing it for 2 years. You know what I mean? Like I was so naive in comedy. Like I saw this dude that I was like, dude, he's so funny.
Yeah.
I want to hang out. I want to be his friend because he's a local guy.
Right.
So there was no stigma for me in the sense like, oh, he has credits or he's Comedy Central, Showtime, whatever. I was just like, he's not been on a movie. I haven't seen him do, like, he's not coming in with like these crazy credits. And I'd been used to being around comics with these like massive credits and 5 movies and nominations and this and that and Fallon, Conan, blah, 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 that when I met him, I was like, oh, well, he's a dude. He's just a normal guy. So there was never an intimidation factor for me. And every single one of those guys brought me in under their wing like a brother. Like, I mean, I still talk to AG and Tone and, you know, Ari Poor and Jason, and it's those kind of people, like, and like Layman, like all those guys were literally just like, oh, you like sports and you like to drink? Well, come hang out with us.
Right.
yeah.
And so, and I didn't know anybody here. Like I had no friends. I moved from Chicago, whatever. But it was cool. It was one of those things where you kind of realize, like, just having that camaraderie, but also like being friends with them. I think it accelerated my writing by at least 2 years.
I bet, yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's a great little group to be in.
Because you don't realize it, but you just, like, the first 6 months that I was hanging out with them, I was probably more self-conscious than I've ever been in my life.
Right.
To even open my mouth. And, like, then when I started to get comfortable, I would throw out a punchline, and they wouldn't hear it. And then somebody else would say it 10 minutes later. I was like, hey, wait a minute. I already said that. Never mind. Thanks for letting me hang out with you guys. Like, you know what I mean? But so then you start to realize, okay, they're thinking 6 steps ahead of where I'm thinking.
Right.
And then you start to realize, like, okay, so that's the obvious punchline. That's the easy wordplay.
Right.
That's the label that's going to get a laugh. Like, and there's people like Paul will do stuff with jokes where he's like, he'll drop like an MC Hammer, you know, or like a Chick-fil-A reference. I'm like, why are you doing Chick-fil-A jokes? And he's like, why are you telling me what kind of jokes to do?
Right.
But, like, you start to realize, like, just how formulaic it really can be.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, that's something where everybody, you know, anybody can bust Dean's balls about a class and spitting out this or that for comics. You can't make somebody funny.
Right.
You can't teach delivery. You can't teach timing. You can't, like,
Confidence.
you can't even really teach how to write.
Yeah.
Like, people kind of get it and see the tool and figure out how to use it for themselves, or they don't.
Right.
And so when people ball bust these people that are out trying to just do it because they want to do it, like, they may find their stride in 6 years and hit it, and you're gonna feel like a jackass when they lap you. But like, I just think that when you're around people that are writing that kind of funny consistently, like you start to see like how much you need to step up your game to be on a competitive level with them. Like if I want an MC week at the Improv, then I have to write better than the other people getting MC works at the Improv. And like, it just comes down to, there's a science to it. Yeah. And it is, I mean, it is this plus this equals funny. Yeah. Well, yeah. We all know that.
Yeah. When Byron and I went to LA and hung with Tone and them, that was one of the reasons I wanted to go, because I wanted to see where the bar was set. And it was like, holy shit, it's set really high. Like, those people out there, bam, bam, bam. Just
I mean, the comics are terrible.
Well,
are they really?
Well, we saw
open micers. Yeah, mind you.
The open mics we went to.
You've got your club comics. Yeah, but
the open mics we went to, like the Hole. Did you go to the Hole out there, Comedy Hole or Marty's? I mean, it's just like Dyer. It's the same thing.
That's what I've heard. Yeah,
it's basically the same thing.
We did a lot of Flappers when I was there, but.
Flappers is a good room. I like that place.
But those guys, I mean, Mark Agee said it to me best, and this is something that, I mean, I've never met anyone that's working that hard at something for zero return. I mean, like, he's getting return on Top Story stuff. He's writing for I.O., which his sketches are hilarious. If you're not watching them, please go to Mark Agee's Facebook page and watch those sketches, because they're a riot. But he's writing for Top Story, and I've never met anybody that, I mean, he gets up, goes to the gym for 3 hours, writes for 4 hours, goes to class, goes to open mics, goes to another open mic, gets home at 9 o'clock, eats in his car. Like, he's living and breathing comedy, and he's not making any money. Like, and that's the amount of hustle that it takes. So if you think that you're just going to go out to LA and somebody's going to be like, oh, I say that, and Bobby Lee put me up at the store. I don't know why. They're like, you asshole. But like, it doesn't just happen. Like, it's not on a silver platter for anybody. And that's the difference, is those guys that are out there that are like at open mics, like, they're terrible, but they're all terrible. So there's no gauge of I mean, it's just like racist, or it's shock humor. It's like people trying to be super alt, or people trying to be non-hack, but then they just sound really evil. I don't know.
I don't know either.
We don't know. AG told me something that was going back a bit to the new people. AG told me, like, when we were out there, he said, you know, if you haven't been doing it 6 months, don't talk to me. Like, it's nothing personal. It's just, why should I waste my time with you when you're probably not going to be here 6 months later? You know, just come up to me after you've proven yourself. Then you can come talk to me. And at first I thought it's kind of arrogant, but not really. You know, they put in their time. There's a hierarchy, you know.
It's gone now in Dallas comedy.
You know what Mark Agee told me? That I was the female version of Walter Matthau. So he's a good guy.
Yeah. I'd take that as a compliment, though.
Yeah, I was like, you've noticed me. Thank you.
That's hilarious.
It made an impact. But you know what it's like when you're like, oh, like Tone and Paul, and like when they actually roast you on something, you're like, oh, that just means that you've like, that's so sick. That's really fucking
means
sick.
That you love me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You've noticed me. I suck.
It's you know, it's something that it's I don't know. I really do feel like the hierarchy is gone now from Dallas comedy. Like,
I don't know what it is now. It's just kind of like,
it is just a Mod Podge. Like, I walk in, I don't know anybody, and
it's definitely.
But then you don't see them a week later. It's just kind of like,
it's weird. And like, I mean, I've been off the planet for a couple of weeks, but that's for writing for comedy, and like that's something that Tone said to me. Like, he's like, you're gonna take heat, because I called him about this, and I was like, hey, I don't really know how to balance open mics and being at work at 2 a.m. And he goes, you know, you do the stage to get the meetings. When you get the meetings, you don't need to be at the stage. When you stop getting the meetings, you go back to the stage. And that makes a lot of sense to me. But like, and you know, you have a lot of time to write, but then it's kind of nice because you go to an open mic and you're like, I know that I want to do this bit, this bit, this bit, and this bit. And they're thought out and they're like organized, because you have to overcompensate somehow for not going up. But I used my weekend with Steve Byrne last weekend to be like, okay, like, I got to flush some of this new stuff out. And even if it's just Sunday, I do 10 new minutes and it kind of lays there. You kind of figure out what's funny about it. It's worth it.
All right.
Because, you know, you're getting paid.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, as far as the hierarchy being, I don't know. You're kind of elevated now, so I don't know if you're seeing, but it does seem to be like a hodgepodge, like
people.
Just a free for all. But like last night at Hyenas, there was like 20 people. I didn't know.
Every time I go to Hyenas, I don't know any of those people.
Yeah.
But it's I mean, and that's why I don't
watch them.
Be there.
Maybe I should watch them, but I'm just kind of like, I just don't want to hear about your dick anymore. Like
I can't
fingering this girl. It's like,
yeah, dude, I can't sit in the back of the room and listen to
it's-
that kind of shit. I just can't do it.
yeah.
It's tough to hear it over and over.
Bobby, I was talking about you.
Yeah,
Your dick jokes.
I'm heavy on the dick jokes and
Were you
finger,
talking about
finger
yourself with
banging.
the fingering chicks?
Yeah, definitely. I lost my ring. That's somebody else's joke. I think we all know whose it is.
I heard that one in the 70s, man. That's
Jeez.
old school.
Is it really?
Yeah,
Wait, how old are you, Bobby?
I'm old.
You're not.
I'm 44.
Since when?
Since 44 years ago.
That's bullshit.
I swear to God, I was born in 1968. I watched all those people.
When
I
did
watched
Kennedy get shot?
like 67.
Okay, so
Something
you just
like that.
missed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Day late and a
They're-
dollar short, Frisky.
Yeah.
You just
story of
missed-
my life. Right? No, I've been around. I watched Carson, I watched Pryor, I watched Carlin, all those people when I was a kid. Like I just like, that's why I freak out when young kids, but young comics are like, who is that? Like, fucking learn your history. Like, get some education on what you want to do. It makes me crazy. Like Elaine Boozler, who's that? Well, fuck you,
Elaine Boozler?
Yeah,
Boozler.
Yeah, but she
With
paved
her
the way.
her sequence dress. Yeah.
Yeah,
What happened to Elaine?
Lily Tomlin, people like that. Like I'm naming
Yeah, no,
female comics now.
but you have to respect people that blaze your trail for you.
Right,
I mean,
right, yeah,
Paula Poundstone.
yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Rosie O'Donnell.
and there's still women today that are doing the same thing by being funny and original. They're paving the way. Your Kathleen Madigan's, your Maria Bamford's.
Yeah.
You have these women, Morgan
Tig
Murphy, who I love,
Notaro.
Tig Notaro, I
Oh
love.
my God.
Yeah.
She's so good.
Yeah, but you have these women that are doing these big things, and they're doing it in a really smart, funny way, and that's making a better name
Yeah.
for female comics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's something that I hate even to say female comics, just making a better name for comics. Like you've got these people that have been doing it for 20 years, and all of a sudden, there's a little bit of success.
Right.
And like, where did it come from? How long is it going to last?
Right.
How long is comedy going to be relevant?
Right.
Right now, we're experiencing like a really good time to be a comic. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of stand up. There's a lot of like they're putting it in festivals and music festivals. And how long does that last? Well, only as long as we keep providing like new, funny, original material.
Right.
And we don't do worn out topics that everybody's heard. And I think that like, I don't know, it's the challenge, right?
Yeah. No, I agree. Totally. Do y'all freak out when somebody says, "Here comes a female comic," or does it bother you?
No, I don't freak out.
I just hate it.
Do you feel
I don't like
twins?
it.
Yeah. Because that's my
I hate comedian too.
Yeah.
Right.
I know we've discussed that at length already on Facebook, but like,
And I mean, I don't like that we can't be on the same shows. Like, not like you and me, but I'm just saying that like chicks can't be on the same show. Like, if there's a female headliner, I'm not going to be asked to MC that show.
Yeah,
I just know
I-
that. That's not what club managers like. I mean, Sean even told me one time, it was like back when they were still doing open mics at the Improv. I don't even, maybe it was Charity or somebody. But anyway, it was like, I think me and Charity or something. And he was like, I'm going to put somebody between you guys because I don't like two girls going in a row. And it's just kind of, I don't know where that comes from. I mean, I understand it, but it's like.
why can two guys be on the same show?
Right. I think that.
What's the fucking difference?
Yeah.
My perception is that whole women aren't funny thing is kind of dying. Maybe I'm wrong.
I
like
think
from
it
the
is.
80s.
I don't think
I
that
don't know,
people-
man.
I don't
You
know.
don't
I mean,
know?
I don't. But there still aren't that many women headliners. Like, if you look at the calendar at the Improv, and if you look at the calendar at Hyenas, I say that, and there's a female at Hyenas right now. But if you look at those calendars, it's going to be guy, and that's just how it's going to be. And then you're going to see like one chick every 6 months. I think.
Yeah.
But there are still so many doing it, so I just don't know if they're not touring, if they're not coming through Dallas, but there has to be the demand for them to be there too.
Right.
No,
well,
yeah.
like Madigan though, she does like House
She
of Blues
does
tours
like
and stuff.
theaters.
She
Yeah.
did House of Blues
she does
last time she was here in
theaters.
April.
And she's awesome
Yeah.
too, by the
She
way.
is,
But
yeah, definitely.
She's a favorite of mine.
yeah,
For sure.
Dude, I
Dude,
know. I love her.
She's one of those I could watch her special every day.
Yeah.
And not be. And I that's. outing myself, but I do. I usually watch. I used to be watching a special every day, and
Yeah.
I would watch Bill Burr, Why Do I Do This?
Yes.
Regan Walked on the Moon.
Yep.
And Madigan's Gone Madigan. Like I mean, but any of Kathleen's stuff, like I just love it. And but this is I asked for Ali Wong at the Improv, and it was the first week I've asked for in a while, and you actually couldn't end up doing Steve Burns, so I got put on that. But I really wanted to work with Ali Wong. I think she's funny, and I don't know what her stand-up's like, but I enjoy her on Are You There, Chelsea? Which of course, like people are like, oh, you watch that? You watch
Right.
Are You There, Chelsea? You watch Whitney? You mean the show where there's a female comic with a
Right.
sitcom? You're damn right I watch it. If not to watch what she's doing wrong.
Right.
And why would you put a laugh track in that show? I don't know. But like
On
it's
Whitney.
actually
I hate
it's really not that terrible. Like it's got a lot of really funny ladies in it, and I think that that's something that
I disagree.
I can't
I
I,
kinda
can't
But you know, it's
Easy.
okay that we disagree. I just
Yeah.
don't particularly find that kind of humor funny, but it's not a bad idea to watch it.
Yeah, no, I don't
I
like.
did-
I'm not saying that I don't like the storyline. I don't really like. There's a lot of easy jokes, but I like that there's 4 funny women getting a chance to be on television.
No,
and like,
that's
Yeah.
definitely a plus.
that's something that I'm gonna want, and I'm sure we all want a sitcom. I would think. Would any of you guys turn one down?
No?
I don't think I'm going to want to turn down. I don't know if I'd ever want to be on television. Maybe that's it. I would love to write. I would like to be in the background. I don't know if I want to be on television.
I would hire you to write in a heartbeat. I love writing with
Continue.
Michelle. No, dude, I love writing with Michelle. Michelle's an incredible writer. I think that you're somebody in the city that's very much like. I think you're like a snake in the grass.
I wish that I could just like write jokes and give them to somebody else and like let them do it. Because I still get really bad stage fright. Like I don't know
I
if
don't
I've
think that's bad,
ever
though.
felt confident on stage. I think if I ever did feel confident, then it'd be like a really weird feeling for me.
But I think
I
if
always
you
feel
went-
like I'm drowning. Like I just get like before I even just go up to do 10 minutes, I'm just like, somebody pull the fire alarm, get me the fuck out of here, But then, just because that feeling of bombing, and it's such a bad feeling, but then the feeling of killing's unbelievable, and it's like inexplicable. But
But if you
I
went
just
up
wish
on
that I could just
stage-
give somebody else my joke. Like, here, I'll write a joke for you, and then you can have it and give me $5. I
tell
would
the
so
newbies.
prefer that.
You can make some
If
newbie money.
If it's only $5 for a new closer, I will absolutely give you.
It's not going to be a closer. It's going to be a middle joke.
Yeah, it's gonna be a check drop joke.
Michelle
Yeah.
tagged out one of my best bits, and it's a line that always gets like a really good grumble and a really good
What is it?
applause. Michelle wrote the line for my pickup trucks joke. And I don't need anything else illegal on my windshield about my
Oh.
inspection being out. And that line always kills. And it's like every time I do it, I think in my head, God, I wish I wrote that line. I wish I wrote. And I think of her every time I do it on stage. And I don't think that ever goes. No, I don't think that ever goes away. I think that you know what I mean. But like, there's so many people in the city that like, I mean, Michelle, if you decided like this is what I want to do and I have the time, like I think you would destroy this city. Like,
Yeah.
you're a better writer than most people here, and
Thank you.
you
No, I
definitely
appreciate that.
you go blue, but you go blue in such a fun way. Like
Yeah.
it's like,
I like your style.
wow, okay, I didn't know that's where. Okay, all right, I didn't know that's where we were going, but we're here now, and
What if you
No,
came
I just
out
need to
all?
write
If you came
clean.
out all like Jessup on stage, that wouldn't work for you. Like your persona
I can't,
fits
it just can't be that like, and that's why I feel so bad. I'm saying like, I just feel like, okay, I just need like 20 minutes, so I don't have to MC anymore, because I feel bad for everybody else. Not like, oh, I'm going to rock this shit, because I don't feel that way. I feel like, what a weird person to be emceeing, because I'm like, hey, like, here we go. I'm just kind of downtrodden and just, blue and, edgier, I guess. I don't try to be, and I probably could write cleaner. I'm that's one
I don't know
goal.
if I want you to.
Well, but that's one thing that
Ever.
I do want to do. I want to write cleaner, but still keep it my personality, where it doesn't
Yeah.
seem forced. But every time I try to write clean, it's just kind of like, it just comes out dirtier somehow. I don't know how that's possible. Like, I don't know
seen
how
that
that
happen.
happens. And I'm
Yeah.
just, it makes people more uncomfortable. I think Patton Oswalt has a bit about when you're trying to keep out like expletives when he's writing for television shows. It just sounds creepier. I can't, it's a good
That's
bit.
funny.
So funny. But that's just how I feel about it. I
Well,
don't
there's
know.
something wrong. I don't know if you noticed when you were in LA, like everybody was blue. Every
And
place
that's
we
the
went
thing.
to.
That's also why I'd
But
like to write cleaner. I don't want to be that blue.
Well,
That's what helped me stand out in the beginning. Was
Well,
because I don't curse and I don't talk about any of my business.
But even like, I forget who it was, but I saw out there, it wasn't Chris D'Elia, but somebody was on Conan like the next night when we got back, and he did the same bit, but he did it clean.
Yeah.
And it still worked. So I think that's part of it.
I think you have to test that. You have to know if that's going to work.
Yeah.
Like that's because it's something that like there's times where in a show, like, and I'm sure everybody does it, but when you're kind of eating it a little bit and you pull out the swears or you pull out your dirty bits and you're like, all right, I know you guys want dick jokes. It's the 10:30 Friday and the 11:30 Saturday.
The
crowds.
11:30
That 10:30 Friday show is everybody's death march.
Yeah.
And it's just, I mean, it's a nightmare. Everybody's shit faced. They went to happy hour and they're not listening. But if you throw like some nasty shit at them, oh yeah, I'm gonna fuck somebody later too. Yeah.
Right.
And it sucks. But I think everybody knows their crutches. I think we all use them.
But don't you think it's adapting to the room a little bit too?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
When I watch people, and God bless them, there are a couple comics in this city that will power through set just screaming into the mic. You're like, wow, they are.
I get really uncomfortable when
forcibly
people do that.
tuning you out, and like you are yelling.
When people yell and there's like 10 people in the audience, like when you do weekday shows and stuff at clubs, like Thursday night at Hyena sometimes, I mean, that's really bad. Still give me work. But there won't be, the 300 people that are going to be there on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
So it's it's just weird to be in that big of a space doing stuff that's like your good material to not be getting a response. It's just so uncomfortable, But then when you...
sucks.
Oh, it's the worst feeling.
It sucks.
And it's not like you're bombing. It's like there's 10 people there and, it's just kind of like...
And they're 30 feet apart.
And they're just... And then you can see them,
it's
just like... It's just weird because it's, 7 o'clock and they're just kind of staring at you and you're like, so I didn't have a dad, what?
You're like, you just want to round table this shit, guys?
And
A
like,
little therapy
I think one
sesh?
time on stage, I was just like... I'll just open it up. Like, let's just have an open forum. Like, let's just have an open and honest discussion about my set. I'm still getting paid whether you guys like me or not. And that actually loosened up the room. But, because I think also, like, weekday shows, people feel uncomfortable drinking, It's just, you want that perfect level of drunk with an audience member. You want that like audience member that's had a few but not like wasted. Like the 9 o'clock shows, or the 8:30 shows on Saturdays.
Yeah, that
is
show Saturday is
the prime because they haven't been at work all day. They've been like chilling. It's Saturday. It's 8:30, so they're not super drunk. Maybe they just got back from dinner and they're just like happy to be there. 10:30 is just like a clusterfuck and they're drunk and they're rowdy. I mean, I have like bits I talk about working at Jenny Craig and like I had some show where this guy's like, fuck yeah, weight loss. And I was like, what? What?
Yeah.
Really?
Weight loss.
Sounds about right.
Like,
Sounds like a 10:30.
That's hilarious. Well, we've gone over a little bit, but that's okay.
We didn't see the light.
Yeah, right? We have an invisible light here. You got something to plug?
No.
Really? That's weird. I was like, Chelsea's going to have all the plugs.
All right.
You do actually have something to plug. You have the Dallas Comedy Festival.
I do. Oh, you're right. I got. Okay. Plugging the Dallas Comedy Festival.
Do you know what day I'm on? Because I don't need a text line. Sorry.
I'm not going to tell you what day I'm on because I want you to go every day.
Oh, nice.
And I also would like you to watch The Eye Opener on the CW Network Monday through Friday.
Cool.
5 a.m. Wake up, bitches. Or just watch it when you get home from the bar. It'll be funnier.
Yeah.
You can catch me at the bar. No, I need money. Let's see. I have the Dallas Comedy Festival this month, and then April 19th, I will be at UNT. If you go there, if you're in Denton, I think it's open to the public.
Oh, who else is there?
It doesn't matter. No, Casey Coleman and Danny Keaton.
Oh, nice.
Outstanding.
Love
So
Casey.
I'm actually going to be working clubs and colleges, not a lie anymore.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
You can actually, it's legit.
It's for
a legit
realsies.
thing.
Drop my cred.
This cred's not a lie.
Who's
I
at the
want
improv
club.
this weekend, do you know?
Chris Frangiola.
Chris Rangello?
There's a good show though. From a Gay Peeps, Stand Up Proud next Wednesday, the 15th. Or I want to say it's next Wednesday. Just check the calendar, improv.com. But there is Sean Polofsky, Dina Martinez and Ty Rivera are doing a stand-up Proud show. So
Oh, where's
it's
this?
at the Improv in Addison. So
Oh,
it's
cool.
good. It's we don't really get a whole lot of gay headliners very often, so
Right.
let's support that for sure.
Very
Definitely.
nice. Cool. And there's always places like Hyenas, Backdoor Comedy, Improv, Dallas Comedy House. Where else? 4-Day Theater if you want to go see improv.
Taste of the
improvisation.
Islands.
Taste of the Islands. We'll plug Stahoski's room.
Monkeys. Pub and
Monkeys.
Grub.
Cherries. Cherries is a gay club that's doing comedy now, and they welcome straight people too. You can go out there. Anything else?
No,
Hey, yeah,
sir?
I got something. Even
Oh,
though it's not
tell
a
me.
comedy show, but here at the Undermain Theater in our building, they have a really good show. I went and saw it last night, and it's,
Oh, yeah?
it's on for the next few weeks. It's called Time and Kafka. It's really funny. It's a funny show, but it's got some mystery involved, and it's good stuff.
Oh yeah, it's like a play.
It's a play, yeah, and
Okay.
it'd
About
be a
the
really
writer?
good date.
Kafka?
Yeah, it's about the writer Kafka. Yeah, exactly. It's called
Oh.
Time and Kafka. It's by Lynn Jenkin.
Sweet.
Yeah, it was great.
Wow.
Okay.
Right
What's
on.
else
And
you heard?
it'll be here all weekend, and it'll be all next weekend, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at the Undermain Theater,
Okay, cool. In Deep Ellum, 3800 Main,
3200.
3200 Main. That's close enough. You can figure it out. Anyway, Chelsea, thank you. Michelle
thanks for
Benson.
having me.
Thanks.
Thank
This was
you.
for
fun.
having us.
Go support live comedy, live entertainment in Dallas and Deep Ellum. We'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.
Bye.